Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm Lady Rose of Goddess Garage, and I thought I'd hop on here because I've been working with this deck, The Sacred Traveler by Denise Linn, and I just finished doing a reading, and her deck was one of the decks I used in my readings, or in the reading that I just did. And I wanted to talk about the deck because it's a really kind of cool deck. I've learned a lot from this deck. It is an oracle deck, it's not a tarot deck, but I do incorporate a lot of oracle decks within my tarot readings as well. I tend to do piles and different kind of triple and quadruple deck readings, so I do a lot of sort of mashing together and infusions of decks and stuff like that. So that's just one of my styles. But I was working with her this morning, this deck, and it's been very insightful. Like I said, I've learned a lot from it. So it comes, just let's talk about the physical a little bit. It comes in a nice little box, the Sacred Traveler, and it's a woman setting out. She's got her lantern, much like the hermit, who once he has his knowledge has a lantern. This cover of this box alone reminds me of the Six of Swords in tarot, because in tarot there's always a boat, there's usually a woman coming forward. In my particular gilded deck that I use as my working deck, there's 6 swords in the boat that she's bringing her knowledge and experience forward. The waters are nice and calm, there's beautiful stars in the sky, there's a castle in the background here, and the moon is full, which is the time of being grateful, the time of abundance, that sort of thing when the moon is full. And then you've got this beautiful owl here up in the tree, and he's just looking down at her. She's looking forward, which is awesome. I love that. But owls often show up in tarot when there's a solution that is nearby, that you are going to find that solution. Now, to talk about the cards themselves, this is the back of the deck, so it's very pretty. I love the mandala. I love the purple. They're very thick cards. So sometimes I get people to pick out cards like between 1 and 52 kind of thing, and I'm having to count them out, which is fine. I don't mind that, of course. But when I was first using this deck, sometimes I wasn't sure if I was picking up 1 card or 2 cards. That's how thick these cards are. But I've since worked with them a fair amount, and I always know, like, I like to shuffle my decks as a way of getting to know them. And I always know my deck is comfortable when I can do that with them. So this deck has now loosened up a little bit. And for me, it's my way of getting to know a deck, just sitting and shuffling it for quite some time. I like to work my decks in. It's kind of like, I used to play baseball as a kid. So it's kind of like when you get a new baseball mitt and you have to work it in because the leather is so stiff and new, and you know you're putting the ball in it and you're working it and you're putting oil on it and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of what shuffling is like for me when it comes to new oracle or tarot decks. And like I said, in the last couple of days, she's finally gotten comfortable enough that I can do that, even with the thickness of her cards. So I really like the messages of her cards too. So there's a couple of things that Denise actually suggests. It comes with, it comes with a really well-versed, thick book, which I like. I like when there's a good book with it. Sometimes tarot decks are a little guilty of not supplying a book. Oracle decks almost always have to, because there's always meanings behind. Like if you get the miracle card, here's a little bit more about the miracle card, and then there's the second page of a little bit more about it, right? So oracle decks tend to have to come with books so that you kind of get the feel with it. Tarot decks can sometimes get a little lazy, not to knock anyone, but sometimes they'll just put in the little white piece of paper that's, here's what the cards mean, and it's just generic meanings. It's not written for that deck and what the meaning and feeling behind that deck is. I've even written within the book. So why I really like this deck, see I've written here, is because it brought something out in me. When I can write in and get some inspiration, and I'm writing right in the book, then I know this is a very inspiring book. Now, Denise Linn is a very well-known best-selling author. She's written all kinds of books and done some decks as well. But what I like is she also says this can be an inspiration. You can get a card of the month. You can get a daily inspiration. It also talks about how it can help you interpret your dreams if you want to use it in that way. It's a very intuitive deck. I like its messages. We're going to go through that in a minute because it's very straightforward. I like kind of concrete kind of things, you know, not just out in the ether fluffy stuff. I don't mind some fluff, but I don't want the whole deck to be like that. She talks about even storing the cards and things like that. But one thing that added an inspiration to me, because as I said, I do tend to mash decks together. So I'm doing quadruple and triple deck readings, and sometimes even 5. I don't know what you call that one, but you know, I'm putting a lot of decks together, and you know, I'm saying, well, this is this one and that's for that. But she gave me some inspiration in her 5-card spread. Some of the positions where card 1 is the message from your master self, your higher self. The message from your heavenly helpers is card number 2. Card number 3 is a message from your earthly helpers. Card number 4 is a message from your ancestors. And card number 5 is a message from your future self. Now, I have taken inspiration from that, like your higher self, for instance, the energy that's around you. Call on your ancestors while you're picking a card out of this deck is what I'll sometimes say. Call on your higher self. Call on your future self. What's your future self going to want to tell you when you're picking a card from this deck? Now, I'm not always using the Sacred Traveler, but she has given me inspiration for who to call on depending on what deck I'm using. So I really like this deck for that reason, that it's given me a lot of inspiration for my own readings, and it's a beautiful deck to use. It feels lovely, like the texture of the cards is just sort of velvety. Some people might complain that it's a little thick. I actually don't mind. I like thick cards, and now that I know, like I said before when I showed you the shuffling, I know I can work with them both physically and spiritually. So, you know, for instance, we've got this one, Gates of Triumph. I love that. Here you are, literally going through gates in your life, and it says success expands your life. So this is a success card. Success is coming. And then we've got navigating by the stars. So sort of follow your heart, look for the signs from heaven, and follow your bliss, right? And the drawings on these are beautiful. Narrow pathway, tread thoughtfully. So there's also some warning signs or warning cards in this deck. I'm just going to randomly pull some more cards here. Protected by angels. You are cherished by the angels. Love that. I just love the messages of this deck. It's inspiring. It's also like, you know, it's thoughtful when there's sort of slow down or take your time, or is this really the right thing for you kind of thing. We've got infinite abundance here. Abundance is pouring into your life, and there's a big harvest happening. Beautiful scene here. Then we've got what's next. Answering the call. Oh, there's another gateway. The time is now. Like I said, the artwork I really like. The colors are nice, and this is an inspirational kind of deck. I find the messages are clear. They're concrete, which is what I like too. Oh, first light, beginning a new cycle. I like that. I like that one a lot. It's got all the seasons in there too, depending on what cycle you're starting. Grounding, go deep and explore your roots. Another one there. I don't like to reveal all the cards. I know some people will flip quickly through the cards like this and will go through each card. First, that makes for a really long video. And, you know, it's like, wow. And also, if you're going to get this deck, because I'm going to put the link for it in the description down below, you know, you leave something to the imagination, so to speak. You know, something that when you buy the deck, you'll be like, oh yes, I did see Breaking the Trail. A breakthrough is at hand. I saw that one, but I didn't see this one. You know, so that there's something left for you to discover as well. I'm just giving you a sample of this 52 card deck. And of course you can kind of explore in the guidebook more of what each of these mean. So miracles, ooh, I like this one. Expect the wondrous to emerge. That's a pretty one. I like that. Miracles. Who doesn't want some miracles in their life, right? And then stepping into power. That's a strong one. You are strong beyond measure. Sometimes people need to be reminded that they're a lot stronger than they think. And I like that there's people behind them, but they almost are, you know, ghosty looking. So maybe these could stand in for ancestors that are with you that, you know that you can do this and they're behind you 100% kind of thing. Voyage of the Heart. Oh, this is a pretty one. So there's Voyage of the Heart. And the message is love flows through you and to you. So you have to give out love and also receive love. Sometimes we feel like we're always giving and never receiving, and then we get a little bitter and jaded, and then gratitude kind of goes away, and then we wonder why is everything all clogged up. So traveling lightly, simplify your life. I like that. And a lot of these messages, I find every time I pull a card for a client, they always seem to get the right one that's suited for them. I just find it a really nice deck. I gave you a little sample there, so there's still a lot of the deck left that you can explore, except there's one more that I'm going to share with you because it's so pretty. So joy and delight. Open your heart to joy. I'll leave you with that one. Joy and delight. Find the joy and delight in your life. I love doing what I do. I love getting decks and having these videos so you can explore the deck a little bit, get a taste for what the deck is like, get my perspective. Maybe you find different things in the deck when you've got it. I will put the link below so that you can purchase it. I'm an Amazon associate, so if you purchase anything through Amazon by clicking on that link, it does help me, and it helps me to continue doing these videos, so I very much appreciate it. And I would love if you got your own Sacred Traveler deck. I find it's quite inspirational. I've enjoyed drawing a card every now and again for myself. I've loved using it in readings alongside my tarot deck. And I just love the color of it too. It's a very gentle, like I said, it feels velvety almost. It's a very gentle, soft deck, but it gives very profound messages. And I find it really does tap in very well to the energy that it's around. So good job, Denise, on this deck. I'm sure a lot of people love this deck. And thank you so much for joining me for this short and sweet little review I thought I'd do of The Sacred Traveler by Denise Linn. And if you like this video or want to see other videos like it, please give me a thumbs up on this video and please subscribe to my channel. I would love it if you would. Thanks so much. Bye.